another little mini chit chat video. So we're gonna be doing a little mini reaction video. I may wait for some more people to come in, but before we go ahead and get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. For those of you who are already subscribed, thank you so much for doing so. We do appreciate all of your support. Shout out to my Purple Heart member gang. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for all of the pre-birthday wishes you guys sent, all of that good stuff. So shout out to you guys in advance. You will see this video once it re-uploads to YouTube. Okay, so by the title, we're gonna go ahead and get into this particular story. Um and I'm looking for like some feedback from you guys, especially the people who live like in United States or in other countries, where you have different self-defense laws. Okay, so this particular story happened on Monday. So this happened on Monday. A homeowner woke up 3 a.m. in the morning. There was an armed intruder in the house. First of all, the guy is wanted by police. So they're already looking for him. So he has already committed crimes in the area. Um, so it's 3 a.m. The guy wakes up. The intruder's in the house. He has a weapon. We're gonna assume it's a knife. They didn't say if it was a gun or not. So we're gonna assume like he had a knife. They said he had a weapon. So him and the home intruder get into it. The home intruder apparently like really, beats the guy up. So now the guy had to be airflown to a nearby hospital. I guess his injuries were that severe. They're saying they're life-threatening injuries. So this is where things start to get a little bit dicey. So both men were charged. That's right. The person who who broke in, they were charged with having a dangerous weapon for criminal intent, and for break and entering. The homeowner was charged with aggravated assault and assault with a weapon. So this is what's having everyone in Canada in an uproar. Even the Premier Doug Ford of Ontario had some things to say about it. And I wanted to get some feedback. Hi, if you're joining. Hi, guys. If you're just joining, hi, welcome. I wanted to get some feedback from you guys, specifically homeowners. How do you feel about the defense laws that we have in Canada? So let me explain. So in Canada, it's very different than Florida and Texas, where you have those stand your ground laws, where you have the right to defend your property. You have the right to use deadly force to defend yourself and your property. In Canada, the law is a little bit different when it comes to self-defense. So the police has been getting a lot of backlash in this particular town. People are upset that the guy was charged. They feel that you should have the right to defend yourself with whatever force you deem necessary if someone invades your home with the purpose of committing a crime. So the Canadian law says that you do have a right to self-defense, but it has to be reasonable. It has to basically match the force that's being used against you. So for instance, someone breaks into your home, they have a knife, they're not approaching you with the knife, they're just standing there pointing a knife towards you, kind of holding you at bay while they rob all your stuff. If you picked up your licensed firearm and fired and killed the person, you'd be charged with murder. Forget the fact that they broke in your house and they have a knife. The fact that you use deadly force, they would consider it excessive force. And I understand I understand because I'm Canadian and I understand the way our society works in terms of, guns and the right to bear arms. And I understand the laws and why they're implemented the way they are. However, I still feel that some of these laws, in particular, self-defense, when it comes to these particular laws, I feel like they are a bit archaic, they're a bit outdated, to they're not up to the present times. Like, this is 2025. I don't think anybody is breaking into your home with a knife or a gun if they're not intending to commit bodily harm to the people in the home if they resist. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. I don't think that the burden should be on the homeowner to assess the level of threat. Like, I shouldn't be waking up at 3 a.m. with a strange man in my house and I'm supposed to go through like a list of questions to determine the threat. Like, you're in my home at 3 a.m. with a weapon. Like, that seems pretty straightforward to me, your intent. So I feel like, as a homeowner in your home, someone breaks into your home with the intent to commit a crime, you have the right to defend yourself, your family. I don't really so much, the property, sure. I don't really, the materialistic stuff, I'm not really gonna be like saying, okay, yeah, put your life in danger over no shoes and bags and jewelry and all that stuff. Obviously not. But if someone is intending bodily harm, like, you already can see why they're in your home, is to commit bodily harm towards you or the people living in the home, I don't think that you should have to worry about how much excessive of force you're going to be using. I think that it's fight or flight. I think that in the moment it's survival, and you should be allowed to do whatever it takes to survive the incident. I hate this type of, re-victimizing the victim. It's like somebody broke into your home already. That's gonna be lifelong trauma. And then you have to defend yourself. Here comes the police now to charge you for defending yourself. So you're punishing me for surviving. I'm being punished for not dying. So I should lay down and die. And then, you guys bring the teddy bears and everybody writes the candlelight vigils and how sorry they are and how this was all preventable and how we need to change the laws and we need this and we need that, blah, 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 blah. And then next week it's somebody else, and then it's somebody else, and it's somebody else. It's almost like that's what you want people to do. Now, I know that's not what they want people to do, but when you're on the other end of that stuff, that's how you feel, like you're being re-victimized all over again. Like, I feel that criminals have way too much rights as it is. And I don't think that it sends a good message when people can know that they can break into your home and do all this stuff, and basically, you have to walk on eggshells how you deal with that. So everyone is reacting to this online. In Canada, it's a trending topic. And I just wanted to kind of bring it to you guys and get your feedback. If you're a homeowner, how do you feel about our self-defense laws? Do you feel that you should have the right to defend yourself and your property with whatever force you deem necessary? Or do you feel that the law is right and the force should match the threat? And who determines that? I don't like, are you supposed to have a conversation with the intruder to figure that out? Like, who determines the level of threat? Like, they don't even have to have a weapon, and they could be a serious threat more than somebody with a weapon. Like, that stuff, all that gray area, I feel like in 2025 needs to be dealt with. And hopefully With cases like these, more of them are coming to light. Once I saw this case, I started doing a little bit of research, and I saw there are people who were charged with second degree murder. The charges were withdrawn a little while ago. A couple weeks ago, this 21-year-old, he was charged with second degree murder. Group of people broke into his home. He's a licensed firearm holder, and he defended his home and his family, and he was charged with second degree murder. That went all the way to trial, and he was just the Crown withdrew the charges because it was clear self-defense. They were clearly there to rob and um, commit bodily harm. So, you know, luckily for him, those second degree murder charges were withdrawn. There are other people who have also been charged while in the midst of protecting their property and their families. So this is now becoming a real big topic. Premier Doug Ford, a lot of people would like to think of him like he's more of a I guess he's a conservative, and they like to kind of, you know, um, compare him with Trump a little bit. Not so much so, just in certain aspects. He has like certain views on certain things. He is a conservative, so I mean that's to be expected. But a lot of people, a lot of lawyers and people in law enforcement are not agreeing with his response, and I feel like he's a politician, but he's also a human, and he's just being real. He's also have been the victim of attempted robbery, living in Toronto, living in the city. He's well aware of the crime, and so I felt like his response was genuine and honest. I think that it's ridiculous in 2025 to think that you'll find anyone who's gonna tell you blame the homeowner because the intruder broke into his home with a knife and he beat the crap out of him and now he's on life support, so let's lock up the homeowner. Like, number one, there was already a failure on behalf of law enforcement. You were already looking for him and couldn't find him. He's still at large committing crimes, right? So clearly the apprehension part needs to be worked on. He's out roaming about. If they were doing their job, he'd be in custody, right? So that's number one. There's a failure there. So why should I depend on you to protect me? Why should I have to, worry about, stepping on your toes and nabbing the guy before you do? That's not my concern. My job is to survive. My job is to survive the incident. It's not to, assess this guy and figure out what he needs and all this other stuff. I feel like that's just ridiculous, to a ridiculous onus to put on civilians, that we are responsible for the things that are being done to us. That's crazy. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this particular topic down below. Thank you guys so much for those of you who stopped by. Hi to everyone. I see you. Thank you. Hi. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll catch up with you guys in another video. Shout out to my Purple Heart member gangs. Stay tuned for our giveaway update on Saturday. And yeah, we'll catch up with you guys later. Deuces.